Thank you very much for the fabulous presentation and all the hard work that you are doing. My question, I have two questions. The first one is pertaining to a bill that you co-signed, SB 326, which is pertaining to enforcing or adopting, schools adopting a certain definition of anti-Semitism. And the critics of the bill, including one of your colleagues, John Rosenthal, would not agree, and they say that this may be misused to suppress exercise of free rights by the students. So how do you reconcile signing this bill and at the same time protecting the First Amendment right and exercise of peaceful protest on campus? That's one question. And the second one is pertaining to a campaign fund that you, not just you, but many Democrats received from Texas Sands Corporation, PAC, which is lobbying to legalize gambling and casino here in North Texas. And it is owned by Miriam Adelson, and who is one of the biggest funders of Trump. But here, so many Democrats have received funds from Miriam Adelson. So, and including yourself. So, how do you reconcile the fact that do you see in growing influence of Mary Adelson in our local politics, and would you commit to not receiving funds from lobbyists like her?
Your first question was on the bill for anti-Semitism, right? I think it's really important to stand very clear that no one faith tradition should be disrespected, regardless of whoever it is, right? So I actually wanted to put in that bill saying that let's add nobody should be doing Islamophobia as well, right? But that didn't get accepted. Again, we are not in the majority party as Democrats, if you're talking about that. So, but I'm not going to say that anti-Semitic activity should be tolerated. It should not be. But there's a difference between fighting for the people and having the human rights violations over there in all across the world. We need to stand up and protect those people. That's for sure, right? But as a member of the state representative in the state House of Representatives, there's limited things that I can do. Like I said, I would love to add Islamophobia, I would love to add any hate against Christianity or Judaism or Sikhism or any kind of, like I said, I do a lot of work on religious freedom. But an attack against one faith is an attack against all of us. So we need to stand united in that. But we cannot, obviously, if students are protesting and they have the right to protest, right? That's the beauty of America, that we can say anything that's we're saying peacefully. But if they're doing something that's not peaceful, then that's beyond the scope, right? And so there's a lot of things that we need to look at when we're voting on something. I think it's easy for, like I said, there's 10,000 bills, right? There's a lot of bills that go through and we are voting on them in 60 days. So we have to be really thinking about what we're voting on. That's what made me vote yes for that bill, is because I'm not going to tolerate anti-Semitic behavior. But a lawful freedom of speech cannot be restricted. I'm an attorney, so I feel like lawful speech, I'm not going to allow.
This bill is not about anti-Semitism, but it's about adopting a particular controversial definition of anti-Semitism. So the definition is controversial.
Controversial is based on like how you're defining controversial, right? So this one basically says, the way I looked at it. I mean, again, we can disagree as well. I can understand that, but I'm doing what I think is best for all Texans, right? And I feel like anti-Semitic behavior should not be tolerated. But free speech, there's constitution. You have the constitutional free speech that you can have as well. Your second comment was on
campaign funds from Miriam Adelson.
Yeah, so we received campaign contributions from a lot of different people, right? We're not looking at each person's CEO or owner to say what they have said, what they have not said. SANS is based on basically casino, right? What they want to do is they want to come up with a casino here. The way we're thinking about it is a lot of members, there were 82 representatives last session that voted for the casino to come to America, to come to Texas. And we had allocated, I think, 12 different sections of the state where they will be able to operate. We were taking the revenue from that and putting it to good use for mental issues that they would be facing or any anti-addiction stuff that they would need, any support that they would need for that as well. So we're trying to use that and then also fund education. Like I think Chris talked about how do we clear that gap? We need funding, and so rather than taxing all of you, if you are able to get casino and use that fund towards education, that's another way to utilize the fund. And it was not me, like I said, it was 92 people that had that. So the SANS pack is only focused on that. Now, if you were telling me that they are doing something else, I'm not aware of that, right? Like I said, we're doing a lot of work as state representatives. We're not looking at, like, we get hundreds of checks, right? So we, instead of having the staff spend so much time on looking at, okay, what are their stances and all that, we focus on legislation, we focus on community outreach. Like this event has taken a lot of time to prepare, right? So things like that. But again, I mean, I'm open to learning more about it. That's why this is there for, right? I'm available. I mean, I'm on social media. You can reach out to me. We don't need to be talking in this kind of forum. But if my goal is to listen to everybody, and then after having that knowledge, then let's make a decision.
So you're okay with casino gambling in Texas? Your position?
I think I'm okay with that, yeah. I mean, I don't think it's something that, again, look, what's happening right now, if you're thinking about, well, why don't have Texas, gambling in Texas, people are going a bit star right now. Every day. And they're taking their money and they're putting it to another state. Why should our state not get the benefit of that? Right? The same people. I mean, people will still, there are a lot of vices in human, kind, but I think it's going to happen regardless. Like banning THC, I didn't believe that, because why do you ban, regulate it? It's going to happen anyways. So all these vices are happening. I tell you, maybe go to a gas station. There are machines there that people are gambling every day, right now in the state of Texas. So why not make it legal and be able to regulate it and keep it in that area, in these 12 areas that we talked about. So that way you can say, hey, I don't want to wish to buy a home next to gambling establishment. No problem. You know where it's going to come, right? You know where it's going to be developed. So you can choose to live where you want to live, but let's not lose the tax revenue, in my opinion.
Okay.
Thank you. I think Shivnek, then you